of his presentation. Nathan is an expert in native presentation manager 2 programming, and he is the author of the Quick and Easy finance software. So he's going to give a demonstration of that and follow it with a demonstration of his Monopoly program. So if you have that video ready, let's try to switch to that.
Yeah, I will switch to that right now.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nathan Woodruff. I have been a developer of OS2 programs since 1980, a professional developer of OS2 programs since 1989. My first job was working with the Federal Reserve Bank, writing transfer codes for ATM machines. And I still believe that the transfer protocols that we designed back in '89 are still in use today. The funny part about that is that the transfer program was called funds checks because that's what you could do from an ATM machine was you can transfer funds or you could deposit checks, and the program was called FUCHK. We thought that was funny, but I went on to there to develop OS2 programs up until about 2000. I have gone on to other development platforms other than OS2, but I remain doing things for myself. I started this personal finance program in 2005 because the program that was using Quicken 98, believe it or not, was no longer supported and would run on Windows XP. And matter of fact, I have to show you guys what Quicken 98 is. Let it come up for a second. Can it find it? It moved it to another screen. So let's go here. Here is the virtual PC running, and here is Quicken 98. Wow, that came up fast. Done. Now, this is what I was modeling my program on, Quicken 98. And don't need to set reminders. Let's go to My Accounts. Why can't I click on that? Use my register. There you go. And this is what I wanted it to look like, something similar to this. Now, this is just dummy data that I put in here. Well, it's not really dummy data, it's dummy information that I have put in from various other things. And checking, but that's all I have in here. I just put something in here to make it look like there was data in here. And so let's go back to what I have done. And I have basically I've tried to make things to import into the program as easy as possible. Now, this is the free all versions of this are free. This is the flat database version. And if you notice, since there wasn't a flat database, it went ahead and created the flat database. Now, this is the accounts list, which looks something similar, if this will change and not lose its place. Well, no, this is the register. Okay, so we'll have to import something to get to the register. I'm on a keyboard switcher here. So I have come across companies that allow you to download or have receipts emailed to you, and I've been working on, for the last, I don't know, 6 months, importing receipts from email. Now, I have my own email server, and these are some of the email receipts that this program can get down from my email server. So let's do one first. This was Publix. Publix was the one. And the pop email server is my own server. Port 110, user ID, and password. Now we need to sign in to the email server, so let's go ahead and sign in. Mailbox is locked and ready, so let's load the messages. Now there's quite a few of them since I've been doing this, and since I don't have categories, let's see if there's, it did create the Publix Categories. So it is creating there. You can specify categories for your purchases for Publix, and they will automatically go to the categories you want. So it's just saying it's added a item that there's not a category for. So let's go ahead and say yes, keep continuing. Now every time it comes across a new item that's not a category, it's going to ask you this. You can say no and back out of this and exit and go do something else. But let's go ahead and enter all these here. I remember there's 40 something. So just continue to click yes, keep adding them to the categories, and eventually we'll get to the last one. We're at the last one. And I was at 47. That's what it says over here too. So we don't want to add, I don't want to add categories or items that don't have categories. So let's go ahead and exit out of this and go look at the categories. So here are our Publix categories. Now these are all the items that I've purchased from Publix in the last year and a half or so, once I started the email downloads. And here's some. I go out about once a month, once every 2 months, and go scrape Publix.com's website and manually try to add some of these. Now I probably need a button here around here that says, I probably should add it somewhere on the import of this, to say synchronize the categories with what's on the server. Now I'm going to cheat here, since I already know that there's something on the server. I maintain a list on the server. Let's go to Internet, Firefox. And you can download this list of pubcats.csv. Let's go to www.osu.developcats.csv. Now that should be the exact same thing as that name is there, publixcats.csv. And say go. And I want to save this file, and I want to save it to D Finance. I want to save it as pubcats CSV. Already exists, so yes. So it is now downloaded from my server. And if we go back, we can close this and we can close this. And let's go back and look at these categories. And you notice now that they all have categories assigned to them. Every single last one. So, Kit Kats, Reese's is grocery, candy, Kit Kats. So let's close this. Go back here, let's go to File. It automatically created a Publix account for you. So we can go back to Files, Import, POP3, Publix Email. Now, you have to go to Publix.com website to register a phone number. And then when you go to the checkout at Publix, before you do anything, it'll ask you for your registration number or your phone number. You type in your phone number, and it will go ahead and forward, and then you will get an email and you won't get a receipt. So I registered Publix at nathanwoodruff.com, which is my own little place where I receive receipts from Publix. Mailbox is locked and ready. Load messages. It should go a lot faster now, so it doesn't, because it already is checking to see if categories are already there. Okay, now I can individually click on these if I wanted to, or if there's none of these are selected, I can just say insert selected, and it'll select all of them and insert. So let's go ahead and do this. And right here it's reading through the emails and picking out the information that it needs and inserting it into the account register. Total Publix receipts is 47. New inserted is 47. So let's exit. Saying goodbye. Let's go to accounts. And here is Publix groceries. Now this is everything I've purchased from Publix from April of 2019 up until just before Halloween. And if you notice on Halloween, I should have bought a lot of candy. And did I? Yeah, I bought a lot of candy. Snickers fun sizes, and groceries, candies, Snickers fun size. So, wow, I spent $3,300 and some in a year and a half. It's more than I thought I knew. Okay, enough of the personal information. Now we can go and see the lists. And the lists, remember lists? Let's go back to lists on here. Now we can go to lists, category transfers. And this is what I modeled my lists after. And this is Windows 98 again, Quicken for Quicken 98. And let's go back. Let's say categories and transfers. Now they look kind of similar, don't they? And this is all Publix Pop 3 added. It'll give you the description of what actually it is. So let's say exit, go back to this. Everything looks good. So I've just now imported with doing very little to get a year and a half's worth of history from Publix into my account register. And that I could go and import more of these, but it'll be almost exactly the same. So I'm going to move on and go to CSV Formats. Now, CSV Formats I have for Sam's Club. I also belong to Sam's Club, and let's go get a receipt from Sam's Club. Now, Sam's Club, you have to go to their website, and you have to select in-club purchases, and then it will download a CSV. It'll give you the option to download also the receipt from that. So I'm going to select this one just where it looks like the biggest one. It looks like that is the biggest one, and say okay. Is this a Sam's Club receipt? It automatically recognizes that it's a Sam's Club CSV. Sam's Club put some characters in their CSV file that's unique, that file. I go out and look for every CSV, and I check to make sure, or check to see if it is a Sam's Club, because Sam's Club really doesn't follow the CSV format. They follow it close, but you have to do some special stuff to be able to import it as a CSV. Is this a Sam's Club CSV? Yes, it is. A Sam's Club account does not exist for this member number. Create one. Yes, I don't have to do anything to add in a Sam's Club account. Import all receipts from CSV. You can do multiple days. I set a range from, I don't remember when I did this. It was just a bunch of them. So I'm going to import all ranges. Newly purchased items have been added to your Sam's Cat CSV category file. Please fill in the blank categories and re-import the CSV file. Okay. So let's cancel out of this. And if you notice here, there's a Sam's Cat CSV, which does the same thing, almost the exact same thing as Publix does. And here's all the items I have purchased from Sam's Club, without getting too personal. But it's incomplete, and I don't want to have to sit here and type through all this. So, guess what? There's also a way to go and do this. Now, if we type that in the exact same way that this is, samscats.csv, there's one on the server. We want to save this. I really need a merge, but for right now, you just download. I want to save it as samscats.csv. File or exist, replace the existing file. Yes, I want to do that. Okay, let's close this and move that back down. So now let's go and take a look at Sam's Clubs. And now notice that there is all these categories. Would you look at that? So let's close this file. Let's go back to import CSV. I want to click on Sam's Club. That was the largest one. This is a Sam's Club CSV. Notice I didn't say that there was any categories because it ran through the list of what was in the import. Check the Sam's Cats CSV file, see if there was one. If there was not one, it would have added it here. But since everything there is in this Sam's Cats CSV, it didn't need to do that. So import everything, yes. And you can see there, it ran through the list. There's one file imported. There is 43 deposits and 491 withdrawals. So let's go to Sam's Club. Now all these receipts were added that easy. And if you look at that, you notice that there is something that's blue. If I click on here, you can add, delete, edit, but if I click on something that's blue here, it says view. What is that? Well, let's click on view. There is the actual receipt from Sam's Club. Now, if you notice, if you have the receipt, you get stuff that you really don't know what it is. FC, Buff, Hot F. What was that? Well, if you go over to here, it's Tyson's Buffalo Hot Wings, 5 pounds. That's a lot more information you'd get than if you sat at home and tried typing in this in. And that's 15 point, I can't see that, 98. I need better glasses. There is the price right there. And so on and so forth. Now, if we come down on here, let's go to a total. The sales tax and the total would be $116.63, and the total here is $116.63. So we actually match. So that was easy as peasy. Now I have lots of them here. This is from 2015 to April 1st of 2019, and here's the receipt for that. All the receipts came in. Now if you notice down here, these pictures showed up. There's the receipt again, and here is the receipt number. The receipt number is actually right here too. So it recognized with the CSV file that there was a receipt, looked for that receipt locally, found this receipt for this customer number, which that's what Sam's Clubs does. When you download the receipt, it has the customer number and receipt number. I look for both. If that file is present, I go ahead and import it. And that's what happened here. Now, And then if you can go ahead and delete this one, well, let's delete this one because it's right there. This is the last one I did on April 1st of 2019. I can delete this. Yes, I want to delete it. Now, if I ever want to go back and see that receipt again, I can go back and view it, close it here, and there it is again. So if I need to send it, print it, do whatever, I can. Can you print from here? I don't think you can print from here. You'd have to have another program to print. Yeah. Okay. But all these categories in here, let's go back and now look at categories. Here's a list of category transfers. And here's Sam's Club's imports as well as Publix. With all these things, you didn't even have to sit there and type anything in here. So, oh, and another thing, here's budgets. So if I wanted to have a budget, here's a budget, the budget light comes up. If I wanted to have a budget, say, for Cheez-Its here, let's click on budgets for the current year of 2020, and I want to spend no more than $10 a month on Cheez-Its crackers. Oh, type that wrong. But say for November, since it's Thanksgiving and Christmas is December, let's spend $15 in November and December. So I'm going to go ahead and click add here, and there's the valid year. Here's the valid years that you've got, and it's unlimited the number of years that you can add here. If you made a mistake and say, oh, I know Christmas time I'm going to spend a lot more money on Cheez-Its, so I want to change this to say 20. Let's update, and it's done. And there is a budget now. So if I clicked on this, I can create another budget. But there's the budget, and we can go back and enter, and there's the valid years. Say it. Let's exit here. Now you say, well, I have a receipt that I took a picture of with my cell phone. Let's go to here. Let's go to Atlanta Cycling, since I do have a receipt that I took a picture of. I went and bought some bike shorts, not to get too personal, from Atlanta Cycling, which used to be Cycle something. Well, I forget exactly what it was. It's been Atlanta Cycling for almost a whole entire year. I want to get this picture into Quick and Easy. Now, if I go back here, I can import CSV files. Now, I created a CSV file here, which this program in the zip file has a sample.csv. I took that sample.csv and copied it to Atlanta Cycling CSV. I added the account holder, the account name, the account number. It is the account type of retail store. And in it here, I added the Bontrager shorts with a special order item, and the price is $59.99. There it is right there. The next line is the tax. We're making this simple. Tax, $3.60. $3.60. So, how do I now add this into Quick and Easy? Well, Quick and Easy, you can import CSV files. So let's go back to import CSV. And I want to pick out Atlanta Cycling. There's Atlanta Cycling. So I want to import this. Now there's no category or there's no account for Atlanta Cycling. But it doesn't matter. It's a CSV import, and I've already specified the account in it. So I'm just going to select the first one here. I'm going to select Publix and Groceries. You think it should go into Publix and Groceries. Well, no. I'm going to import this. One file is imported with 2 withdrawals. And let's go back to Accounts. And guess what? There's Atlanta Cycling right there. we can take a look, and there is the CSV file. The shorts and the tax. With the shorts $59.99, tax of $3.60. Now, I could have gone in and I could say add, and I could add all this information here, picked an account, whatever I wanted to do. Here's all my accounts. Entered and sit here and typed it in. Or I could have just typed it in, had the receipt right in front of me, and typed it into the CSV file and imported it that way. It's however you want to get this in. But you still say, I want this receipt in. Well, here is the great thing about Quicken Easy. Quicken Easy is a double entry system. Quicken 98 is a single entry system. This goes one further to make a double entry system. Well, what's that, you say? Well, let's go back to here and let's say we want to add a new account. This account is going to be checking. Let's go to next, and this is going to be a popular bank, and account name is checking. Account number here is going to be a number you're going to recognize, 8675309. I didn't want to give away my checking account number. So there's no contact, no phone, no comments. Creation date is 1-1, say 2010. Initial balance is 0.0, and interest rate is 0.000. Now, I had tax forms coming up, which I queried the IRS website to get tax forms, and people all over the world that were using this decided that they didn't want their information going to the IRS website. So I cut that out. I can go back and add it for anyone who wants it. It's just a right click and then do something else. But for right now, we're going to skip that. So it's going to say, hey, are you sure this is it? We can go back, or we can just go ahead and save. So now we have a popular checking account, which is right here. And our initial balance is 0. So let's go ahead and let's add as of whenever that was. So let's go back to June 1st of 2020. And we want to make a deposit. And we say we're going to deposit $100. So let's go ahead and save. Now we have a deposit of $100. Our balance is $100. Now if you don't like this font, you can change fonts here. You can change them to whatever you want to be. Let's go to, can we do Wingdings in here? Yes, we can do Wingdings. So let's go to Wingdings and change this to Wingdings. And the font changes. Change the font back. Font was Warp Sans, was bold 9. Let's change it back. Warp Sans, it's normal, and it's 9. Okay, we're back to where we was. Now you can change fonts on these things too. Change a font here. But now we have $100 in our account. So let's go back to our accounts. We have popular checking that has $100 into it. Now, most banks, you're able to download in either an OFX, which is an open exchange format file, or a QFX, which is a Quicken exchange format file. So my bank does, there's a QFX, or OFX and a QFX. My bank, my popular bank, does QFX. So let's go and I've already downloaded the QFX file, and let's import this. Here's all my transactions without letting you know too much information about me. It already recognized that it was from the 8675309, that it was a popular checking account, and these were the dates in the QFX file from March 24 of 2020 to July 21st, 2020. So let's go ahead and import that. One file was imported. There was 3 deposits and 32 withdrawals. So let's go back to accounts and popular. There's now information in my popular checking account. So let's go take a look at this without getting into too much personal information. And let's go down the bottom. CycleWorks was their name. This is where I purchased on 7/20, which deposited, or which it went through on 7/21. Let's go ahead and edit this. Now, here is the image that I wanted to get in. Here is the image. So let's right click on this and say copy file name including path. And let's paste that there. Shift and insert, we can paste that. Now we can say here is the check number that we want to know. Control and insert, and then shift and insert, and there's the check number. Now we can say save. And you notice, now what's even more amazing about these is if there's not enough room, you can click on these lines and see how that line, you can move this line around. You can also move any line here you want to move. See, you want more space over there, or you can take this line there. There's too much information, so let's move that down and move this one back to here, and so on and so forth. All these lines are movable. I thought I'd let you know that. Let's move them all back. And then images there. The one thing we forgot to do, let's go back and edit this. And now we're going to say we're going to transfer this to Atlanta Cycling, which was CycleWorks, but now it's Atlanta Cycling. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And now it says over here, Atlanta Cycling Bicycle Store. So you know just by looking this, there's the receipt. We can view the receipt again. The receipt's there. So if you go back and look at your popular bank, you can see the receipt. Let's move this back over. You know that you spent $63.59 and it went to Atlanta Cycling. So now let's go back to Atlanta Cycling and look at Atlanta Cycling. And this is a double entry system. There it is. We had a balance of $63.59. It was paid from popular checking, and there's the payment with a balance of 0. And look at this. There's the receipt again. We can view this. There's the receipt. You can see the receipt from either your checking or the actual retail store. And this is basically it, because I'm hitting my time limit here. I've gone 30 minutes now. So, and here's all the types of accounts. So you want to see just checking accounts. There's your checking account. There's no savings. There's no credit cards. There's no cash. There's no money. There is a liability of Publix, and you can click on these to say you want to look at retail stores. There's your retail stores. This is basically it of this. What this does, I could go through, there's reports. I could export all this information to a QIF or CVS format. There's lists. I could go through the reports that you just, since I don't have that much information, they wouldn't really mean anything. Oh, graphs. You can graph how much of your under or over budgets and stuff. It's neat to see, but since there's not a lot of information there, I would skip it. Oh, but I wanted to say, how many people know this is how much I am into accounting? I've done accounting all my life. How many people know what their first check they ever wrote was? Anybody? Well, I actually do. Here, let's go to, well, can we go to here? Finance. Okay, the DB2 or the DB2 version is not called Q&E, it's called Finance. And here is the DB2 version. Now, this has lots of my personal information, so I'm going to make this really quick. I'm going to go to Gwinnett Bank and Trust right here, which is the very first account I ever opened. And on December 10th of 1983 is the first check I ever wrote to my mom. It was a rent check because I got my first job on November 5th of 1983, and I opened this account in November 9th of 83. Wrote my first check to my mom, and believe it or not, there is the check to my mom. The very first check I ever wrote. That's how dedicated I am to finances in my life, where I know every single check I've ever written in my life, and that's in this database. So, and that's the reason why I do this. Oh, as long as I'm here, I was asked if I could demo Monopoly Plus. Monopoly Plus is a program that I originally wrote to do the mathematics of Monopoly, because there was a video on YouTube that says that these certain spaces, if you purchased, you would always win, which I went in and I debunked that. So I wrote a program called Mono Plus, and if you get help, here's the number of things you can do. The one thing that isn't listed, and I've made something for myself, is that you can specify, you can play this if you want. You can say the number of players. Now, if I want to play, I can say I play, and it'll insert you into the number of players. So if I hit enter here, it should tell me my position is 2 out of 20. So if I do it again, it should say now my position is 19 out of 20. My position is now 6, but I can say I want to be the first player. And this is something I haven't told anyone yet, only you guys. I can say player, I want to be player 1. So I'm going to be the first one to play. And player position is 1. It's going to tell me how much I have. It's the first turn. Do I want to roll? Do I want to mortgage? Do I want to quit? Do I want to trade? I want to unmortgage. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. I landed on bank-owned property Oriental. Do I want to buy? Do I want to quit? Do I want to sell? Do I want to trade? I'm going to go ahead and buy. So I purchased it. It's going to say that I now have $1,400. I have 1 property, and the bank is at this. It's now going to go through and play this as other players or the AI would play. It's very crude the way that this is done, but I didn't really do this to make it playable. I did this to go after the math to see what was the best possible strategies. And I've come up with the best possible strategies. I'm just not going to tell anyone. But I also decided, okay, and let's go to, that was finance, let's go to here. I also decided to make this a PM program, and I'm in the process of making this an actual PM program. I'm working on the host server right now to make it a network playable that you can, I'm going to host the network version here at my house, so you'd sign on to monoplus.nathanwoodruff.com from here, connect to the host server, and it will connect you with other players. I'm limiting it to 10 players because that's the number of forwarding I can do on my router. And this is directly sizable. I don't have it to where I can do anything right now because I'm working on the host version, but I wanted to show, oh, I can rotate this. I can rotate it counterclockwise. Let's go back counterclockwise. But this will have who is playing here. In another box here will show who is connected and who's playing along with you. These are the properties. This is Mediterranean, Baltic. These are Connecticut. This will show, right now it's showing that none of this is, all this is bank owned, but if it was owned by someone else, this would be gray, and if you owned it, it would be the color of these tops here. So this, in less than a month, will be playable. It's somewhat playable now, but I'm not animating anything. I have to go through the process of being able to animate things. I want to have things jump across the board. I want to be able to have the dice roll animated. I want these chance cards and community chest cards to come out of the deck and flip up and let you read what it is. I want to do some all fancy stuff. So I'm still in the process of this, but I was asked just to demo this, and that's all I'm going to do. So this is my demo for tonight. I've probably gone over 5 to 10 minutes. I'm looking now at close to 40 minutes of my time. I didn't want to make it this long. I was trying to hope for 30 minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am not here at the moment. I'm not doing this live. I am probably right now at this time picking up my son on Saturday morning from his mom's. I have him this weekend. I will be online at 8 p.m. when this is replayed to answer any questions, if there are any questions. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for your time. My name was Nathan Woodruff. Hope you have a great day. Bye.